Okay, I found it. Hope you can. Did not like this book cover, by the way. Publishers did this, but I found. Now you know. Like I said, it was a request, and it's not a happy poem, but I'll find one to close it out with. This one's called just simply Suicide. Suicide is a thief, taking, stealing from us. Suicide is a poison created by circumstances and people. Lack of understanding, lack of compassion. Suicide is having too little. Suicide is having too much. Suicide is the form, the embodiment of despair. Come to life, to take life, to exchange places with the living. Somewhere trees are planted in memory of my mother. I'm not sure how many or by who. It gives me a warm feeling to know that she was so loved by so many. Yet some days I find it difficult to find consolation in watching falling leaves. And that's just a little bit personal, and there's a long story to it. My mother was a beautiful lady, and everybody loved her. It was just an unfortunate thing. I've covered that in the rest of my book. Here, my books. This particular one, it's in there. How I feel about it. You know what I feel contributed, and I feel that she was a victim of circumstance, basically, and I'll leave it at that. But she was a fine lady, and I was sorry to lose her. I mean, she was my world until I was 22. So, having said that, I'll leave us on a kind of a silly one. And the publishers wanted me to name every poem. I didn't want to, but that's how it worked out. So, I named this one Labor Unnoticed. The cobweb that's been in the corner of the ceiling all winter now has an occupant. There is movement among the silken threads that I assumed were dust. One tiny spider works at expanding the site she chose as her home. I study her movements closely, wondering if she has ever noticed the world below. Surely my comings and goings must echo like drums to a creature the size of a pinhead. Or maybe she works oblivious and is thus able to continue without interruption. So, that's kind of a silly one. My sister was sitting next to me on the couch, and she's like, okay, write a poem. Just off the top of your head. That's where that came from. So, anyway, I don't know. I like this one, and this one's not funny, but this one is more of an overcomer, and I'll close with this one, because I'm just not sure how well received some of these will be. Fear lives alone. For many of my years, I traveled alone with a friend that lived inside. He had no home, no foundation, no shelter, except in me to hide. I fed my friend as though he had no life if it were not for my loving hand. True enough, he had nothing without me, always ready to reprimand. One day I found that his name was Fear. First overlooked, now I could see that this friend that I was keeping alive was living off parts of me. It had so many things to choose from, a banquet off which to feed. Fear of today, fear of yesterday, fear of anything to take from my needs. If not enough to fear the moment, I could fear what was to be. My promises of tomorrow instead promised useless repartee. I found I found that this thing inside me was born of beings just like itself, reproducing yet more a strong species, nurtured and growing, steady with my help. I had to put a stop to this relationship, identified as fear. Now I know. I can no longer keep giving to it. Now fear will have to live alone. Uprooted and rejected belong to me no more. You also will have to find another. I am free. It's fear and its friends to die just dead. They no longer will steal from me. My life is my own and belongs to me. I want to enjoy it all that I can. You will no longer take any away, you will no longer take any away, because I have let go of your hand. No longer need to concern myself with long forgotten lore, and for my sake alone, I will fear no more. So this was kind of a breakthrough period in my life for me. So this one actually has a date, 1987. So June of 1987. So that was, I can remember a lot of these more so. Most of them I do. Anyway, so that's out of my first book. So I have 3. I finished number 4. I'm working on number 5 right now. Not sure about publication. I have some copies left of the older 1 and 2. Number 3, I don't have any copies of left.